Ron James! Hey, everybody!
Ron James has a voice unlike anyone else in comedy, and it's not just what he says, it's the way he says it.
With water so cold for swimming, it'll compromise your potential at procreation, eh?
His riffs are so rapid-fire, so complex, that sometimes you just have to hit rewind to hear them again.
Sprinting across the mental home lawn, looking to hop the ferry to freedom in Dartmouth.
But as hilarious and as hard-hitting as he is on stage, Ron never set out to be a comic. He wanted to be an actor, so he trained at Toronto's famous Second City, landed parts in a few Hollywood pictures.
And after he hit me many, many times in the head with a hammer, I had to give him my gun.
But it was Ron's stand-up that laid bare the storytelling gifts planted in him as a boy growing up in Glace Bay, Nova Scotia. Now we get to see those gifts each week on The Ron James Show, entering its 4th season here on the Seab, uniquely Canadian.
Saskatoon is known as the Paris of the Prairies. Then this could be the Eiffel Tower.
Politically charged.
I agreed to come camping in Montana, but I am not going to an American hospital.
It's Ron trying to make sense of what he calls the daily chaos we're all walking through on this rapidly spinning planet.
We're living so long, we're the first generation where parents and children could be in diapers at the same time.
Ron James!
What's happening, sir?
Just back from the snowy west. I was on tour.
How was that?
Living the dream up and down black ice highways. Yeah, it was pretty good, man.
It's one of those things, no matter how experienced you get or how many times you've done that, black ice highways in the dark, always scary.
Oh, no. It's mortality's wake-up call. You're driving along and then, whoa! Yeah, so just take your time. But it's always good to test the barometric pressure in Calgary with my Tory material.
Well, you do that, right? Like, you find the, like,
I
here...
always keep the car running, though.
And not just because of the winter. Well, no, you'll do a show in Toronto and you'll make jokes about Bay Street, so when you go out west, you don't placate the crowd or play to them. You actually give it to them.
Well, I think that's the comedian's job. It's not our job to ride in the apple cart. It's our job to tip it over. And true, and it's not a corporate gig, even though we're a lot of corporate coats in the crowd. But, I mean, it's the same rule clear across the big wide open, whether you're playing St. John's or whether you're playing Victoria. Canadians are a country who traditionally have been able to laugh at themselves. And I think because the message is being micromanaged by the guys with the keys to the government store in Ottawa these days, everybody's supposed to step in line. Well, that's not the comedian's job. When someone puts the Orwellian jackboot on our throat, we just bark even louder.
Right. Well, I would suggest that this is a country that used to be really good at laughing at ourselves, and we're not anymore. Have you noticed the change?
Oh, yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah.
It is, and it's been polarized. It's been purposely polarized. Look, in a country with 32 million people, we don't have the luxury of 350 million people down south.
Right.
Dennis Miller can pick a side and still have 175 million people following him, and Bill Maher can pick a side and have 175 million people following him. And in a country that really didn't have a deference for the rebel voice, the only rebel we had was Louis Riel, and the feds hung him 140 years ago, and they still haven't pardoned him.
Right. And they pardoned a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you got to be doing something right when Ottawa hates your guts that long.
What was your tipping point, man?
I think the Conservative majority, the virtue that has been Canada, this deference for authority and this perpetuation of the status quo. Our motto is peace, order, and good government. And I think it's seen as heresy if you want to question that a little bit. Now, not to say that my stand-up show or my television show is overtly political,
right, but
you should be able to take your shots and poke the gorilla in the cage without feeling that you're going to suffer ramifications for it.
Right.
I got to watch it. Folks get litigious. I make a couple of jokes in the show about the Tories. I'll wake up with a black bag over my head in a Pentecostal church basement somewhere while a gang of young Tories put the boots to me with a box of stale Timbits, So it's an interesting day, but you know what? It's a great day for comedians.
Right.
Because when we were in class and the teacher told you to be quiet, as soon as her back was turned, you were just making that face again.
Let's go back to Acadia 1977. Take a gander, will you?
Holy jeez, what's that? You don't have that hot night session, do you, on the 7th floor?
Look at that. Who's that?
Wow, look at that. Look at that.
The hot knife session on 70. But hold on, you want to talk about how
No, I came home from midterms my first year and I had a scab on my lip. Mom said, every time you come home from school, you got that scab on your lip. Why? I don't know. Anyway, it's...
Well, but look, you want to know how influential Ron is? Take a look at this. Like, maybe look who Ron... Look, man, Bubbles. That's it right there.
Yeah. Two very intellectual Maritimers right there, I'll tell you.
I think a lot of people know that you're experienced and you're funny, but I don't think a lot of people realize just how much stuff you've been in. Like, you've been in a lot of stuff. You worked at that SCTV crew early. You were in Tommy Boy, which is one of the greats, right?
Yeah.
But let's go to this one here. Early 90s, this clip here of you in cinema.
Life is good, and all because of you, Ernest.
Oh, my goodness, look at Ernest.
Well, thanks, Dr. Miller.
Oh, please, Abner.
I guess that means we're like real buddies now, huh? Like a real team.
Well, I guess it does.
You got some corn on your shirt. Huh? Gotcha.
Ernest rides again.
Wow. I was broke. I came back from Los Angeles. I was 40 grand US in debt. I didn't know how the hell I was going to get out of the debt. We were starting over, and I got an audition for a movie, and I got it. And I was in the company of unapologetic Nashville Republicans. And you know what? I started telling my stories about Los Angeles and about the difference between the idealism I had about California as a kid, growing up in Halifax, you know, seeing those westerns on at the movies,
right,
and the hard wall of reality I hit there. But you know what? I told those stories to those guys who never knew me from Adam, and they were laughing. And in a strange way, those Nashville Republicans validated my Canadian perspective on what it meant to walk through that world of America at that time, which, had I not written that show, I don't think I'd be sitting here in the chair with you, you know, and talking to you about those days. And it was, sometimes your teachers come in different forms. And, you know, it wasn't the best movie of all time, but I got to drive a go-kart for 5 weeks that in fourth gear went 57 kilometers an hour. You know, so I was getting paid for stuff I got chucked out of school for doing.
That's amazing. Stick around, more with Ron right after this. All right, up next, Ron's Tales from the Road, plus from the rocky shores of Newfoundland and Labrador, Johnny Harris on the panel.
Tonight we're talking about Newfoundland and great reasons to visit, like going to see Conception Bay, and not just for the view. Conception? I'm talking about you.
Excuse me. Hi, I'm Christmas shopping for the guys.
Oh, no problem. This week only, the Bay's got 33 to 50% off Pierre Cardin shirts, just $19.99.
No kidding.
Sure, look, tapered dress shirts and sports shirts and a choice of patterns, all made in Canada, too, by Pierre Cardin. $19.99 each.
Okay, I'll take a dozen.
Yes, sir.
Boy, the guys in my horticulture class will look great.
Grade 4 horticulturally.
Yes, that's all it costs when you shop with me.
Are you trying to help my career or kill it?
That's amazing. Listen, as much as we talk about corporations, the one corporation that can lay claim in a way to this country is the Hudson's Bay Company.
You know what? I did so many commercials back in the 80s, right? And I mean, we were all journeyman actors then, you know? We'd head out, and there was a commercial industry in Canada then. Commercials like that were the bread and butter of my tribe, actors. You'd go out, you'd get a voiceover, you'd get a commercial. We were journeymen, you know, and maybe you'd get a commercial like that that'd give you enough rent for 3 months.
You're excellent at the English language. What's the funniest word?
Nipple.
Right? See, he said it even in a straight, direct way, and it got a laugh. Who's the funniest member of your family?
Look, that's hard. They're a tag team, man. I'll give you 2 examples.
Right.
Okay? No, I can't do that because they'll be embarrassed. They'll tell me a joke. What? No, I'm talking about my mother and father. Yeah, man, they're 81-year-old tag team members. Sit at that kitchen table. You want to find a comedic holy note? Oh, it's unbelievable.
Do they still give you the gears?
I laugh all the time. They don't give me the gears. I just watch them talk to each other.
But still in love at 81?
Oh, they're really, really funny. And you know what? They've always had a home that's been welcome for everybody. And as a kid, I sat on that counter and watched the full panoply of life cross that threshold and move through that kitchen. And I was just so fortunate, just a pantheon of personalities. And they were the hosts. And it was a magical time. And I love going back.
Ron James, season 4, Mondays, 8:30, right here on CBC. Yeah, back.